The crazy thing about this is that what God wanted me to do was different, totally different from what I was doing. My career started in the tech sector, then I moved to the oil and gas sector, then the shipping sector, and then the logistics sector till I moved into the construction sector. Everyone will get to the point where they will need to find answers and answers to questions. One of the most important questions is this: is this career what God wants me to do, or does He have a different calling for me? Do you continue in your career, or do you focus on your calling? Or maybe is your career your calling? Now, I want to honestly tell you that switching from your career to your calling can be very, very scary, especially when you have invested so much in that career path, especially when you are emotionally invested in that career path. But your calling, it's way better and it's very, very profitable. When I switched from my career to my calling, I was earning my salary sometimes in a day, sometimes 3x that salary in a day. For some of you out there, your calling might be very different and it scares you that you are going on a different path and it's so unpredictable. But one thing I want to advise you is if it's God leading you, I will guarantee you that it will be better, you will be at peace when you're in your calling. Now, the second question you will need to address or find an answer to is my calling on the same path as my career? I think the most difficult part for me was when I realized my calling was on a different path. A different path in the sense that I was afraid. It was new. It was strange too. I did not have any experience on that path. And God was telling me I should proceed. I had to act in faith. I had to move in obedience. For you, maybe it's on that same path. Maybe your career and your calling are on the same path. But what distinguishes your career from your calling is purpose. You will see it will be clear that the purpose you are on this path is to achieve this objective for God. The third most important question a lot of people will need to address or find answers to is, where do I get the resources from? For some people, they need to start businesses that are not on the same path as their career. Where do you get the resources to start this business? Now, this is what I found out is a problem. A lot of people, most times, they exaggerate the resources required for them to take action because they are afraid. Let me share the story. I had this friend and he wanted to start this business and for years he kept complaining that he didn't have $2,000 because he wanted PwC to write a proposal for him. So my question was, why would you want PwC to write a proposal when you can understand how proposals are written and write your proposal yourself? And he always tell me that he wants his proposal to be professionally done. So 10 years down the line, he doesn't have the proposal, he has not started the business. So the basic question you need to ask about resources is, how much does it take to start? I hear some people say they need a website. Sometimes you don't need a website. All you need is a social media page, which is free. How much does it take for you to take the first step? What is the first step that you need to take? Start with that. The first question is, are you being intentional? When we don't understand how great God is, we tend to see Him less than what He actually is. And the less we see God, it creates this atmosphere of solid doubt that is unbreakable. And I'm talking about the kind of doubt that keeps you backwards, limited, both in your mindset and both in your approach to what He wants you to do. I remembered when I wanted to quit my job and somebody came and shared a very scary story. She told me that she knows somebody who quit her job 2 years ago and till date they have not gotten anything to do and they are struggling. Now, I want to tell you that when I had that story, I became scared. I was very, very afraid. I was like, am I taking the right decision? But one thing I did was I went back to God and I prayed and I said, Lord, are you with me? Is this the right thing for me to do? And God said, go ahead, I am with you. And I proceeded. And I didn't struggle. I got a new project at the end of that 3 weeks. And trust me, that project was far better, paid me better than that previous job. The fifth question is, how do you identify your actual calling? Now, most people struggle with this aspect. Most people think that it's very, very difficult to identify their calling. Like I said, God will never put you on a career path, He will put you on the path of your calling. So, my definition of the path of your calling is that thing that currently is frustrating you. Now, when you have something that has been frustrating you for a very, very long time, that thing has a high probability being your calling. So maybe it took you time to get a job. That means you're supposed to help people get jobs. Maybe you are currently struggling with money. That means your calling might be to help people get money. In most cases, your calling might not be one dimensional. It might be different phases to that one calling. I remembered when my first business failed, my second business failed, my third business failed. And before God, and I started asking Him, what exactly is my calling? And my calling was to help businesses grow. And the one way God told me help businesses grow is help them create a lead generation system. So the next important question is, how do you start? What do you do now to identify your calling? First, most important thing to do is kneel down and just pray. And pray a very simple prayer. Father, I come before you. My calling is very important to me, and I choose to be directed by you. What is the thing you want me to do? Now, the second step is trust God. I want to say trust Him that He will lead you, He will direct you. The third thing you need to do is one step of faith. Now, this is what I found out, that if you take a step of faith, it might be in the wrong direction, but the Lord has a way of redirecting your steps for you to find the path He wants you to take. If you're coming across this channel for the very first time, I'll be helping you understand how God will lead you from a career path to your calling to establish a business that builds the empire He wants you to manage. Please subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.